I know this room very well. I know the paintings that were on the wall here. These are very thick walls, and the Federal bullets couldn't get in here. And I remember there was a ladder. The Indians had chopped a hole in the roof here. They had a ladder up where they try to shoot the helicopters. They never were successful. By the time the 10-week occupation was over, there were hundreds and hundreds of FBI, U.S. Marshals, DEA, state police, border patrol, dogs, aircraft, helicopters, armored personnel carriers. This was a militarized zone.
So look at one last question.
Oh,
I know I'm milking you,
yeah.
But were you scared?
I was scared, but also I guess I was curious. You know, I thought that this could end the way it ended for Wounded Knee in 1890. I mean, you don't come in and take over a building with arms in our time, certainly not in the post 9/11 era, and expect to hold a whole town for 71 days. I mean, if this happened today, I think it would be a very deliberate end to it. But back then, I think that they tried to scare the people at first. They sent this fighter jet, Vietnam F-4, over. And I can remember these kids, there was a teenager with a .22, and he took a shot at the F-4, which he had no chance of hitting or damaging. And there was a Vietnam vet, an Indian guy who was here. He said, "Hey, don't get him mad."
The Wounded Knee apparently has a wounded party. Stated to us that they were going to send medics in, and the man that went to that bunker was carrying a rifle. We will not recognize a medic carrying a rifle.
Message from Wounded Knee. There's supposedly a Red Cross worker by the bunker that's been pinned down for the last hour. They don't know if she's been hit or not, and they'd like to get her out of there. Over.
I tell them that they've got 10 minutes. One person with a white flag and no weapons. If they have weapons, we can open fire.
She is a medic. She is unarmed. She only has medical supplies with her. Please relieve sniper fire that is aimed upon her.
Be advised, you have 10 minutes with one person with a white flag to move that person out of that area. If there's any weapons or any fire, we will fire upon them. Over.
Okay, Roger, we're getting a white flag ready now. There'll be one person going down there. We'll run down and check it out. There'll be no weapons taken down there, and I'm trying to tell all our people around here not to open fire, but some of the people are out in fields, and I can't guarantee that, that somebody on the other side of the perimeter might not get pinned down and open fire over there, but there won't be any fire from this direction.
Well, be advised, if there's any fire, they're going to open up fire.
Roger, I'm telling our people here. Little Bighorn, and Spanada, and Hawkeye, and Little California, hold your fire. Do not open your fire. We have 10 minutes with one man under white flag. If anyone opens fire, this man's dead. So hold your fire.
Hawkeye, stand clear. Over. Cease fire.
It is now approximately 10 to 2 in the afternoon. 2 people are still injured out at Little Bighorn bunker. Radio communications are broken with them. We just heard that about 1 hour after firing started this morning, one man was shot and killed out at Last Stand, which is the Manderson Road bunker.
I mean, what's changed in 40 years? Was it just a protest, people died and were wounded and life went on and nothing happened? Or, was it an important moment in history?
So you're still being a journalist, and I'm your cameraman.
Well, and thank you for cooperating and being so nosy with your questions, and I hope you have a fine career in the future in whatever you choose to do.
Thank you.
47-year-old Frank Clearwater, an Apache Indian, died today of a head wound suffered April the 17th during an exchange of gunfire at Wounded Knee. Clearwater was the first person killed since militant Indians occupied the South Dakota settlement 58 days ago. Talks aimed at achieving an end to the occupation appeared to be at a standstill today.
That morning that Frank Clearwater was killed, and which was triggered by the parachutes that were dropped by this group in California. There's a pilot out there and some other people. They rented 3 airplanes, and they were anti-war people during the Vietnam War. They dropped food here because there wasn't anything left. And then the feds started shooting at this food. They really were surprised. They were caught by surprise. It was right.
Well, it was unusual for anti-war people to have airplanes, right?
Yeah, it's very unusual for people. Can you imagine today if Occupy had an airplane and was pulling maneuvers and so on? There were 3 pilots, and these 3 pilots dropped parachutes here, and it kept the occupation going. Of course, they were later arrested and everything. But anyway, the parachutes dropped here, like right ahead of the pickup where we're sitting right now. And I ran down there with my camera to take pictures, and the feds started shooting, and they were shooting the food, and people were trying to get the food. I remember a kid dropped his bicycle there, you know. And I've been in places where they were shooting since then, but I almost bought it that day, right here, right on this road toward Manderson, when I tried to photograph that stuff. And I remember this guy named Bo Little. He was switching his horse back and forth. He was riding bareback, running up behind us right here, and the bullets were dancing like a salt shaker right underneath the horse's legs. I said, he's going down, and I'm going to get his picture. You know how we are.